That's okay. We'll be here.
I'll be back. I gotta get some cups. Hey, y'all, I see y'all in a minute. I'll be back. I gotta go get some cups.
In the meantime,
My bad.
This is over a drink. I'm Irize. That's B Manley.
B Manley messed up.
It flows. B Manley messed up.
Oh, and it's
And
the
on the
yoga
end,
soldier
we
over
got.
here. Got the yoga soldier, Nelly Yoga in the building again.
Yes, which by the way, her show is going to be back on Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. here on YouTube and on Glockaware.
Got DJ Nate coming through.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's gonna be a party.
So, we were going to be drinking. So, first, let me tell y'all, because you know we always start off with our weekend anyway while we wait for B to get the cups. My weekend was a little crazy. I know he worked. He called me and I was at work. I worked. I got sick at work and I learned what no fault policy means at my job. No fault policy means that even if you get sick at work, if you go home, your dependability gets assessed points. I have sick time. I got 43.8, probably more now because like I said, I worked all weekend. I've got sick time, over a week of sick time. But if I was to go home, I would get 3 dependability points, putting me at 27 points. 30, you get terminated. I'm sure I could afford it and all this other crazy shit, but I just don't understand how a person could get physically sick at work to the point where I intentionally went to throw up on camera so that somebody could see I was sick. Because, you know, if you get a doctor's note, your points get skewed. So how come if I can't prove that I'm physically ill?
So how do you use your sick time? You have to request it a certain amount of
you can use your sick time whenever you want. If you don't got no points, 3 points ain't shit. But if you want to erase your points, you have to call out for 7 days, 7 consecutive days, and you have to have a doctor's note that says you specifically cannot perform the functions of your job during that 7 days.
Wow.
And you still got to use your sick time. Wow. Talk about jumping through motherfucking hoops. So as I'm throwing up at work, because fuck that, I'm going to be sick since y'all motherfuckers ain't going. It wasn't that, and it's funny because my managers were willing to let me go home. However, the senior manager overseeing the airport, even though I had no assignment, I was done. I did all the ins and outs I was going to do for the day.
That's even crazy. You would think they would just like all right. You
the first thing out of that man's mouth was policy. And like I told you, policy is 3-point success. If I want to use my sick time and go home. So I stayed at work. I took a little nap, and because the only time I wasn't throwing up is when I was asleep. And then when I did wake up, I vomited, and I kept telling them I want to go home because I want to be sick at home because I don't really care about being sick around y'all. Fuck y'all. I really said that a couple of times. Like the fact that I'm allowing myself to be vulnerable around y'all, and this is the response I get. Fuck y'all, respectfully. But thank you to my managers who did let me kind of simmer down. I was like, my concern is how the fuck I'm gonna get home because I work at the airport. So I'm on the shuttle bus. I don't give a fuck, making everybody else sick. Oh, fucking well. I'm in my car. I'm on 95, doing 75. As soon as I got off at Callawhill, pulled right over at 5th Street. I couldn't even make it to Spring Garden before I'm crossing Spring Garden throwing up again. I pulled into my own driveway. I'm throwing up again. I promise y'all, I went to work on Saturday morning weighing 176. Sunday morning, I was 166.8.
Ew. This was my weekend.
This was my weekend. Like I was just like, I'm not feeling it. I was so glad I was off Sunday. I went to work today, and I was feeling all right. I powered through it, but I definitely left on time.
I'm glad you powered through that. That sounds like a horrible tasting weekend.
I'm trying to get rid of these points so I can fucking do what I need to do when I need to do at this dumbass job, and I'm definitely trying to continue to do what I'm there for, which is fly for free.
Hey,
I gotta subject myself to that because they definitely don't pay you enough to pay for your flights.
That was my airplane sound right there. You heard that, Joy?
I heard that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, where the other like I know we live and all that. Where the other thing like that? The holder for the phone, the stand thing. Somebody took the stands?
No, they over here.
Come on, where the M&Ms at? Did you get that one? Stand. M&M. That was a hip hop dad joke.
Yeah, that was definitely
a hip hop dad joke right there.
So now,
what we got going on over here though? I had to go get the cups and shit. I fucked up.
I told you we was going to talk about Cowboy Carter, so I was going to bring whiskey, but you know, the bottle of whiskey fell right out my hand and poof.
You'd have gave me
enough
enough time.
That.
If you gave me enough time, I'd have wore a hat.
So,
You know what I mean, everybody wearing the cowboy hats and shit. I'd
since
grab
when
one.
I had a bottle of crack and black spice rum in the crib.
Because I should have.
Me neither.
I'm not even a rum person.
No
and I looked up
desire.
what you can have with crack and
Listen
see
to
when
it.
I was drinking this, I was drinking it in the wintertime with nigga cracking rum.
Cracking rum.
Black spice rum, identified by Kraken, the fictional creature that's much like an octopus. Yes, yes, yes.
The
Motherfucking crack. I don't associate with people who do crack. Not intentionally, for sure. Because once I find out, I steps the fuck off. Not intentionally. I promise you that. If I don't know, I don't know. But
She's
once
definitely
I know,
not lying.
once I know, you can be family. I will step the fuck.
Oh, why you
what's
gonna
I've
throw that
never
shot like
tried
that?
it. And you know it's and I never
You're like,
wanted
I've
to
never
because-
tried it. Like,
Never
it's the thing
tried
to try.
what?
Yeah, but I
What?
never tried
That.
it. The
Crack?
cracking. I
Oh,
thought she
oh,
said
she
that
was-
talking about the drink.
Oh no, she was talking
too
about
weak for y'all
crack.
bullshit.
No, not crack.
Yeah, but you came in on that part. Yeah, like you.
I'm
yeah.
talking about the drink.
Yeah.
No, but
Well,
I know
you
what y'all.
didn't
I
try
know
it,
how
but
y'all
you can try
segued
it
into the
today.
drink.
That is
Yeah.
why you are here.
I've never.
This
tried
is
it.
definitely a
Ooh,
new
I never
drink
wanted
here.
to try it because I was scared of the
It
name.
That's
is
something
a
different.
black spice rum.
I'm scared of the spice.
I looked up different things you can have with it. One of them says
Mhm.
Sprite, the lemon lime, supposed to make it a little tasty. That's what it says.
Effervescence.
As I was saying, I've only ever had it in the winter with eggnog. I like heat it up on the stove with some eggnog and put a little cinnamon in it. Shit is
Yeah.
delicious. We about to find out. I'm not gonna drink it straight. I don't give a fuck what anybody else does. I definitely am not. I'm telling y'all that now.
What? You
Why
not
we
what?
get
I'm not drinking it straight. I don't care to taste it straight. I can't remember if I ever have, and I'm not about to test that.
Is that a thing that we supposed to do? Take a shot? No.
I be
Is
wanting to
that
know
is that
what
we
liquor
what we
tastes like
supposed to?
first.
Suppose, first of all,
Before I
it's
even know
whatever
what
we
shit
want it to
tastes
be.
like.
You can do whatever
Like
you want, my man.
Mixed.
You can taste it regular. You can taste it degular. You know,
No.
'cause you know you got to pour your own troubles around these parts. So, like I said, I'm gonna have it with Sprite. How was your weekend, Nelly?
I didn't do nothing. I just literally stayed in the house, binge watched a bunch of shows. Easter didn't exist. My family had
Surprise!
stuff.
Surprise!
I didn't go. It was weird though, because I'm like so used to my kids being small and doing the Easter baskets and the Easter egg hunts and doing all the little family stuff. But I wasn't in the mood. I kind of was like a Debbie Downer. My son officially got deployed, so I'm
Right.
like, he called me Friday. So I
Mhm.
kind of wasn't just like, I was just,
I
I
get
did get in the closet. I did get in my sweatshop. I did start painting a jacket. So I'm trying
That's
to
good.
like
Work
get
is
back
good.
into, my creative space. So.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I haven't celebrated Easter to be what people celebrated for since the early 90s. Like since I was forced to when I was in high school. That year my mom made me go back to church because they was giving out scholarships for seniors. Like, and what I mean by that is when you get the Easter outfit that you got to wear to church, then you get the one that you wear to the movies or the zoo. You got the fresh kicks and all that. Like,
keep the
I
tradition alive.
I haven't
love
done that. I don't do that with my kids. If my mom bought them church clothes, shout out to her because they go to church. I know I don't. I was at work. I'm about to contact
remember
my
them
union rep to
days.
find out where my revenue day at because I certainly ain't see no extra pay clock for that day. All this weird shit. But yeah, I definitely did not. I posted some memes about Easter. I woke up and my friend Raheem sent me a meme that said Happy Easter and it was the Fatal Attraction with Glenn Close and Michael Douglas and the rabbit. And somebody else said, one of my girlfriends posted, what are you guys cooking for dinner? So I posted that in there, like the rabbit. Yes. Then I saw the one with the surprise, surprise. It was like nobody, Jesus on Sunday. Surprise, surprise. You know, I did all that funny shit, all the blasphemous shit that, of course, I'm going to do while my entire family was at church. For sure. But yeah, I didn't even go to work Sunday. It took me a lot to get out of my bed. I don't even remember what time I got out of bed. I remember watching, I was watching basketball. I did some shit on Sunday. I feel like I got dressed. Oh, I went to my sister's house and she colored my hair.
Oh, word.
I'm digging the color.
She colored my hair.
digging
Can I
the
get a
color.
toast from you real quick, though?
Yeah, shout out to
you want-
today is April 1st. I'm not doing April Fools around here. Don't pull
Oh.
up on me with the bullshit.
My
I'm
mom,
almost
little,
50. I
my
ain't got time
mom,
for
my
that shit.
mom got us. I was so
I ain't got
disappointed in
time for none of
myself.
that shit.
I was so
I'm
disappointed in
toasting to
myself.
that.
Can I give a shout out to my man E? My man Keith White, happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday to Keith.
My bro Keith White. Gotta give a shout out to my boy Keith. Happy birthday, man.
Stop calling him Lil Keith.
Fucking,
actually,
I was about to say, this is not bad straight, too. I was going to say, it's not what I thought.
Now that I had
Look,
it's actually
not
good.
bad.
It's kind of sweet.
Now that I've tasted it.
I see how they say the lemon lime balance it out. Whew.
I'm not gonna lie to people, it's not that bad.
Shout out to today starting Mercury retrograde.
Mercury retrograde.
This is the most misunderstood time of year for me and my fellow Geminis. So we just gonna get this shit out the way now. I'm gonna advise all my Geminis to think deep and long before you speak. Think about who you're speaking to, how what you're gonna say is gonna affect them. We already overthink. Now we have to double overthink how what we're gonna say is gonna affect people. Mercury is our ruling planet. It causes emotional turbulence within us around this time. We're often misunderstood. We say shit, people take it the wrong way. People say shit to us, we like whatever.
All this for Geminis on during Mercury.
But during Mercury retrograde, communication is fucked up for everybody.
Oh, all right.
And it's Aries season. So Mercury is retrograde in Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac. It is the fire sign. So anybody going through anything turbulent, think about Mercury is in retrograde. The shit is going to simmer down around the 25th of April. Think before you act. Think before you speak. Don't make any rash decisions. No rash business moves. I mean, buy that Powerball ticket. It's only $3. Y'all be fucking off $3 on bullshit.
I'm trying to find somebody going through that so they can make a rash decision.
It happens.
That may be a dope thing for somebody.
So
make a rash decision.
You know who's making very calculated moves at this point? We broke this on our show last week. Diddy. Diddy, which last week we did break that his mansions in LA and was it Miami?
Yeah, they was being raided while we was on the air last week.
Under allegations of sex trafficking and prostitution, which is only legal in the state of Nevada. So that's why it's such a big deal. Because I've been seeing people, well, before I get into that, let's just recap for those who've been living under a rock for the past week. So Homeland Security agents, in what Diddy described as a gross misuse of military level force, and unprecedented, it was an unprecedented ambush, and he proclaims his innocence. So they raided his mansions. They were looking for like cell phones, digital documents, whatever. Ain't no telling what they took. They fucked the house up.
They tore his shit
everybody was like, oh my God, they handcuffed his sons. They handcuffed his sons. For those who don't know how this goes, when the police raid your crib, everybody in that motherfucker is getting tied down. They want to make sure ain't nobody touching shit.
They set their ass on the lawn.
Moving nothing.
Sit on the lawn, man.
You definitely got to sit down while we keep ransacking your shit. Ain't none of that pointing, that's mine, that's his. It don't matter. We have a warrant for the entire property. You can get it too. So just sit over there. We'll figure out what's yours when we find what we're looking for. So that was why they were handcuffed. Nobody was charged yet. However, Brendan Paul, 25-year-old Brendan Paul, was arrested the same day on his airplane.
That's the mule.
That is the alleged
the young mule,
drug mule. However, he was arrested for allegedly carrying contraband inside of his personal travel bags. They said in the meantime, Diddy was spotted along Miami area and Star Island. He was on social media a little bit. He posted his daughter on his youngest daughter, Baby Love, on Sunday, wishing everybody a happy Easter. But while all this is going on, Brendan Paul was booked on 1 count of possession of suspected cocaine and another possession of suspected marijuana candy. People are like, damn, edibles? But yes, remember, these are federal agents and weed is very much illegal federal, which is why when you go into a dispensary, they prefer you use a debit card that they can charge you for as an ATM transaction rather than a debit transaction. They prefer you don't use a credit card, or they prefer cash because they have problems with banks. For those who don't understand that.
Plus, if you take the weed from one state to another, you're trafficking.
Not necessarily.
So if you take,
not necessarily, because
you
are permitted. So here's the loophole: you're permitted to travel with weed from any state where it's legal. So California, there's a lot of legal states at this point.
Yeah, but he
Jersey,
may have,
like you got to drive through. Like if you're on your way to Delaware, but it's only legal medicinal in Delaware.
Listen,
if you're driving through Delaware, Pennsylvania is legal, but only if you have a license for medicinal purposes. So It's the loopholes. And
Cocaine too.
Nigga.
They had
Pennsylvania.
cocaine.
Pennsylvania don't really give a
Leave
shit.
that
And it's not a
cocaine.
felony until you have 2 ounces. And it's not trafficking unless they can prove that you have an intent to sell.
Well, they got
The
them on
one
something.
thing that I know is the fucking marijuana. I done failed all kinds of other political science and law classes because law ain't my thing, but I will run down the marijuana law. Things that apply to me, I know. So, he was intercepted aboard Diddy's jet in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, all caught up in this
Mm-hmm.
was also Daphne Joy. If nobody knows who Daphne Joy is, she's a model.
50 Cent's baby
AKA
mom.
she's a pretty girl that was discovered on Instagram, most likely, or on a video or twerking somewhere. But she is the mother of 50 Cent's 12-year-old son, Sire.
Mm-hmm.
And she's an alleged sex worker caught up in this ring. So, of course, 50,
Yeah.
not one to ever hold punches. 50 was not holding back. He was like, oh, I didn't know you was a little sex worker. Like making jokes and shit.
My God.
Allegedly filing for full custody of his son and just making all kinds of jokes. To which she responded,
You knew, nigga.
nah. She responded that she alleged that he raped her and physically abused her. And
That 50 did this?
that 50 did this to her.
Oh, wow.
And she doesn't appreciate him making fun of the situation with Diddy, considering all the shit that he did to her. Now, I don't know where the basis is because she
What?
didn't file anything.
Yeah, she just said it.
She's just saying it, and he's still cracking jokes because he was at Madison Square Garden during Nicki's concert, and he made light of the situation. There's a whole bunch of women in the audience and screaming and hollering, and he's like, I love my little sex workers.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So
You gotta love 50 Cent.
50's
You just gotta love him.
He's
Like
a
that
great
is the king of
troll
don't
ever.
give a fuck. 50
The
even called out
king of
50.
it.
50 talk about some, ooh, they coming for you, Jay, which made everybody like go,
yeah.
To which one of my friends responded, Jay-Z definitely need to be on that list. And then they started showing the pictures of him and Aaliyah, and the way he was holding her is very much like the way he holds Beyonce, but we all know that was Dame's girl. We all know that she was young. We all know that although him and Beyonce didn't get into a relationship much later, when he first met her, she was young. What do you mean how he get Beyonce? 2 rich people hanging around each other. Beyonce gave her number to a nigga I know from Philly just because he was funny. Like, these people are regular people. They don't become who they become. It takes years because this was in the early 2000s when that happened. And he is in the music business. So people just gravitate to who they gravitate to, but they're going to be around who they're around. Like,
Yeah.
If you in
Beyonce
that
is not going to
circle-
talk to Charles up the street because when the fuck she going to be up the street to meet Charles?
But if you're in that circle, you
But if
just happen
Charles
to be
from up
there,
the street is related to the nigga,
guess what?
or the nigga that's the nigga, she might have a conversation with Charles from up the street, and
Charles may
they
have
might
a
hang out
chance.
because Charles might have a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this day, fucking Miss Netta got her Charles, so anything's possible.
Miss Netta got her Charles.
Listen, I be over
Hey,
here
I
on
was
my
thinking
single
about
ass like
something
Miss
with that.
Netta got a fucking Charles.
Along with that, like, what's up? What you think about these like older chicks going after these young basketball players, like the older
Stop.
no, the
Stop,
older
stop, stop. When I think about them
no,
going
no,
after, or when I
yeah.
think about them dating, because who says they're going after?
They going no.
No,
The one
Because
the
from
love
the
and
way
hip
I
hop.
remember life, and the way I remember
No,
you
I'm
being
talk-
a
I'm
young
talking
man,
about-
you had older women that you
No,
had a
I'm
crush
not
on.
talking-
So who's going after who, and why do it
I'm
matter?
not talking about the regular older. I'm
No,
talking
you
about the
talking
ones in
celebrity ones that's washed up
yeah.
and the niggas shouldn't be dating anyway, but they were their
Yeah.
fantasy bitches when they was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
got
what
you.
do I feel about that?
What you think about that?
More power
Yeah.
to you.
Because she's
sis.
still
I
bad.
love me a
She's
young
still
nigga.
bad.
No,
She's
it's a
still
few of
bad.
them. It's not just one. It's a few.
You know, I love me.
It's
a young
definitely a
nigga.
few.
I don't give a fuck. Shout out to them for doing what niggas been doing forever.
Yeah. I mean,
All right, so
shit.
don't
If the
knock,
nigga
so
was
don't knock,
17
so let's
and he
not,
had a
so
crush-
let's not knock the niggas for doing it then.
I don't knock. I never knock the niggas for doing it.
Okay,
If
ladies.
you can get that bad bitch,
Don't
Yeah.
get, I don't
So don't be
Power
mad when y'all
to
see the
you.
old head with the young chick.
no, I'm not mad about
I've
it. But it's a
always dated
difference.
older
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a difference when she's a teenager and she's still
See, now there's a
and
difference.
she's
now.
easily
Yeah.
manipulated.
How you think that young man is then to that older woman?
Listen, he is an adult
come on.
when they get together, but he
I
is a
got you.
17-year-old, very impressionable mind with her
True.
poster on the fucking wall,
True.
lusting after her.
And she gets him when he's 22.
Listen, if whatever
He's
experiences he
22.
had between 17 and 22 make him think he can handle that,
Okay.
impregnate her while he's the same age as her son, which is weird as fuck,
Yeah,
in
that's
my
crazy.
opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
Shout
Like,
out
come
to
on,
him,
let's.
because guess what?
I got you. That's a,
What
yeah.
they ate
I'm
for
not,
dinner last
and
night
listen,
did
I'm
not
not
make
knocking
me
your
shit
hustle.
this
At all.
morning.
I'm not knocking nobody. I'm just talking about the shit. That's
Yeah,
all
we
this
can, we
shit
can,
is.
we can
So
definitely
don't
talk
think
about
I
it.
even.
People
think-
with money
but- I
situations
think a
is
double
different,
standard
think.
exists.
They just can't.
Yeah.
they
I
don't-
think
can't
it's
do what
all
normal
over
people do.
weird, but at the same time, I have met younger people with a like mind
That's
in
true.
some
Yeah.
things.
And they say
And there
they
are
say
other things where I just be like, I
they
can't.
say girls mature faster than boys too, right?
They definitely say that.
They say that, right?
They say
So
that.
so a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old girl is if we going by the standard, is more mature than a 19-year-old boy.
When I'm talking about a
Correct.
19-year-old
Yeah.
girl and a
Correct.
35-year-old man, I'm not talking about the standard. I'm talking about the law.
All right, a 22-year-old girl,
I'm
or a
talking
22-year-old
about the
girl.
law.
All right, 20, that's 19. I went right above the law, though. I went right above the law. I don't care for every state. I
A
went right above the law.
19-year-old girl
19 is
a
grown.
35-year-old man met
A
that
ni-
nigga
no,
when she was
I'm
17,
just-
most likely.
Listen, it doesn't. Why does that have to
And he
happen
probably
like
knew
It
her
that?
doesn't.
since she was
Why
12.
does it? Let's
I'm
not.
just
Let's
saying
And he
take that
probably knew
scenario
her
out.
since she was
No,
12.
no. Let's
and
take
waited
that.
for her.
No, let's take that. Let's take that
That has
scenario.
happened a lot.
That be the
Okay,
shit.
let's take that scenario off the table. Let's put the scenario that they just met when he was 30, whatever.
They met
Yeah,
at her
like they
19th.
always
He
shut
was
it.
at her
When they
19th
was-
birthday party.
No, see why we gotta put any? No, she was at the bar and he was at the
Well,
bar.
then if she was at the bar, she wasn't 19.
How you know? So now you
No, you
you
can
haven't been to a
19
bar
at
at
the bar.
19?
Listen,
You
You
don't
again,
always
haven't
get
been to a
carded.
bar?
I definitely
You haven't been
have,
to a
but
bar at
again-
19?
But
Yes.
again, I'm bringing up the legal of it. So make her a legal age or make them put in legal
That
place.
is legal.
Make her in a legal place, a concert. 19-year-old nigga met this nigga at the concert.
At the concert.
Okay.
She's at the concert.
She didn't 21 to drink. She at the club.
She
She
at
at
the
the
club. 18 to get in, 21
And she
to drink.
and-
19.
I have a problem with that.
I never respected that anyway. I think
I used
that was
to go
weird
to
as fuck
those.
too. Yeah, I did too.
and-
You have to get the
Who didn't
band
drink?
and you go to that side and that side.
I had
Yeah.
a problem with that, and
Yeah, that
I
was crazy.
honestly know that my parents had a problem with me going to those places.
That was crazy.
It's a legit problem. Who's not
Do they
drinking?
really still do it anymore? I don't really see it anymore.
No, they
But
just
maybe
give
that's
out
because
drinks.
That's just
We
not
was
my
drinking on
crowd.
our way there.
No, they just give out
First
drinks.
of all,
Maybe because it's just not my crowd. But I don't see it advertised as much like 18.
Well, they don't
It's
got
not-
them
but I don't think they
yeah,
do it
they're-
anymore.
They're few and far in
I don't feel
between.
like
They
they
don't
do it.
Yeah, you
exist
can't
here,
have
but
them
they're
no
definitely
more.
in other cities. And once you out the country, like the drinking age in certain countries is 16.
There you go.
You can't have them.
I mean, you can, and some of them do exist. Some of them exist in dry places, meaning they're 18 and 21, or they're 18 and over, but there's no alcohol served. But there's hookah. Shit like that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, you asked how I feel about it. I don't feel about it. I don't really care. Like, I think I think we spend too much time worrying about the wrong shit.
It's really. To
I'm not
each his
worried
own.
about the fact that she's Drea, who people consider washed up and been with a lot of niggas. And the one nigga who I know spoke about it, like she clowned his ass because she's like, nigga, it would never be you, and it never was. So I think that's extra weird. Somebody speaking on some pussy they didn't get.
That was
But
it's
I
a
think-
couple
I
situations
think-
though. All that shit
I think
weird.
it's an individual situation because again, they're in the same financial and tax bracket. They have that in common. They're in the same industry. They have that in common.
How many kids
The other
Drea
chick
got?
that's an ex, she has 2, I believe. And this might be her 3rd or this might be her 2nd. I just know that her oldest son that is his age is the one that she was charged for leaving in the house while she came to Philly to party. So this is where she may have matured since then. These are my problems with it. It ain't got nothing to do with their age. It has everything to do with the mentality of a motherfucker like that. Like that's what it is for me. This is years later. She should be more mature now. This is definitely about a good 17, 16 years later. So I'm hoping she's more mature now. I'm thinking she's more mature now. But apparently they clicked somewhere. Clicked enough for her to be having his baby.
Hey, listen. She
How do I
bad.
feel about
That
it?
chick is a
Wouldn't
bad-
be
a
me.
bad chick,
My
but-
25-year-old son would not accept me dating somebody his age. And I wouldn't even put him through that. I wouldn't even put him through that at all. I wouldn't even, I have 25-year-old friends. I definitely do.
Lauren Hill comes
I
to
don't want to
mind.
date them.
That's like when Scott
I don't even wanna
Disick was
fuck a
dating that
25-year-old
Lionel Richie's daughter child. He was dating the shit out of that little ass girl. You don't.
I can think of certain things I have in common. I love basketball. I love boxing. I love Future. I love hip hop. I love going to shows and shit. But do I have it common on the level where I'm raising a 20? I have raised a 25-year-old and I have a 17-year-old and I have a 12.
Yeah, that would be weird for
Like
me
getting
because
their boots
I
rocked.
couldn't date
You are
anybody
25
in
with
my
no
kids'
kids,
age
just
bracket.
coming out of your mother's house. Like, I don't have time to teach you.
I
anything.
could never be a cougar. I could
Anything.
never
This
date
a different kind of
anybody my
22
kids'
though.
age.
He a different 22. That
Is
nigga
he?
rich.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's the only difference. I
That's
feel
the
like
difference.
that's the
Yeah,
only
you grow
difference.
up different.
Because
you're
if he was
exposed
a
to
different kind of
shit.
There's a
22,
difference.
I feel like he wouldn't have went for the girl that was on his poster that he know a whole bunch of his peers already
Nah,
fucked.
I think he would have though. I think he would have because he's seen her. He's seen her.
It's
I
a
think he
difference to
would have.
fuck her and let her have your baby.
But then listen.
He got the bag, but is he going
But
to?
he young.
Is he going to keep the bag,
But
having
he
a
young.
baby
He-
with this
he
woman? This
blew
is
her
what I
mind.
mean by
He blew-
is he
she blew
really a
his mind.
different 22?
True.
That's where I'm at with it.
True.
Yeah.
But enough about them.
Yeah. Enough about it.
Black
Talk about
excellence
us.
passed and returned to the essence this weekend.
It did.
Louis Gossett Jr.
Damn.
Oh,
Rest in
yes.
peace.
Yes, he was 87 years old. He definitely lived a full life. He was from Coney
Yes.
Island, Brooklyn. He was the first black man to win Best Supporting Actor, and he did so in 1983 for 1982's The Officer and a Gentleman. He was the third black nominee. And when I looked up, I already knew he was Team Gemini. Birthday was May 27th. Okay. I learned some fascinating things about the 6'1" Louis Cameron Gossett
He was
Jr.
6'1"?
Not only was he 6'1",
Damn.
Wow.
a sports injury resulted in him taking an acting class in high school.
Wow.
Right? So at age 17, he made his acting debut in a high school play, right?
Mm-hmm.
His teacher then encouraged him to audition for Broadway.
Wow.
And again, at age 17, he performed on Broadway
Wow.
in 1953 in a show called Take a Giant Step, which was selected as one of the 10 best Broadway shows that year
Amazing.
by the New York Times. So he won the Donaldson Award for Best Newcomer of the Year. This man is 17 and in high school in 1953. So in 1954, my parents were 2 years old. 1954, he graduated. He attended NYU, declining an athletic scholarship.
Damn.
I already told y'all he was 6'1",
Shit, well, he already.
and he had the opportunity to play for the New York Knicks. You know what he said? Nah, I'm gonna go be in a Raisin in the Sun with Ruby D and Sidney Poitier.
As he should have. Wow. Wow.
And from there, his career just took off.
Damn. that's
I mean,
what's up.
I
You
would've-
have to have
oh
some
my
kind of
God.
natural God-given talent
Yeah.
to audition for a Broadway play at 17.
And get it.
Your second time ever acting, get it, and then win a motherfucking
Good.
Donaldson Award on Broadway in New York, and you are black
He would have
in
wasted his talent being an athlete.
1953. You still in high school.
That's crazy.
I already was impressed by Lou Gossett because let me tell you, I never wanted to go into service initially, fucking with the officer and the gentleman, because that motherfucker right there,
He was mean.
he was mean.
He was mean in that joint.
I was like, if this how they are,
Black
fuck
mean
that.
man.
Yes, yes. They always cast him as the black mean man, but you know what I remember
Mean
most about
man.
Lou Gossett? Whenever I saw him like on other like sound bites on TV, he always had a dashiki on. I remember that bald headed dashiki. He
Yes.
always was dropping some shit.
Yep. Yep.
That's what I
Yep.
remember about Lou
Yep.
Gossett Jr. So
He was definitely
shout out to his
black and
legacy,
proud.
his long life. I know he had 2 daughters.
Damn, Lou
Shout out to
Goss.
Lou Gossett, who was definitely a pioneer in the arts.
Mhm.
Definitely
Black
an
excellence.
example of black excellence. And he might have done the New York Knicks some motherfucking good.
He might
But
have,
he said, nah, I'm going to go be on stage with Ruby
Yeah.
D and Sidney Poitier.
it was well worth it to have him the way we
Definitely.
He
had him.
won, yes, won the
Definitely.
first, only second black man to win an Oscar next to Sidney Poitier.
That's amazing.
That
But
is
you know what? That just
amazing.
goes back to the village and just the encouragement from that teacher. You know what I mean? Like how a teacher can kill a dream of a child and also spark.
I wonder
and
if that teacher
ignite
was black or white
a
too,
dream.
because I bring this up because my niece, you know, unfortunately she heard from several of the colleges she wanted to go to. She did not get accepted. She's on the wait list for her number 1 choice, but she got accepted into Clark Atlanta, and I was like, yo, I want you to go to an HBCU, like real shit.
Yes.
And
My
my
son had the
reasons for
best
wanting her to go
experience
is
there.
because as black people, I always talk about my niece. She's at the top of her class in Bodine. She's going to be the valedictorian. She's all public in basketball, softball, and tennis. She only just started playing tennis in high school. She has played basketball and softball, starting with t-ball, her entire life. She only just started playing tennis 4 years ago in high school. She is all public in all sports. She was voted MVP by her peers. She was the captain or co-captain of all the teams this year. She fuck around and end up being prom queen. So she was talking about going to a HBCU, and she only applied for my sister. But she said she really had no intention on going because she didn't think they had her major or her resources. And then, you know, her father's HBCU experience was Cheney.
Oh.
Cheney is not the private Lutheran institution that Clark Atlanta is, which is also part of this collective of universities in the mecca of Black excellence in the United States. So what I did was I called my other Black excellent niece, Nadia, who graduated with a double major in psychology and computer science from Clark Atlanta just last year. She is an AKA. I think she told me it was like Pi Rho chapter. She was going to her a probate last night. Another line is crossing over. And she told me she plans on going back to Clark Atlanta for her doctorate. I called her so that she could talk to my niece about her experience at Clark Atlanta, specifically as a Black woman who is at the top of her class and wants to study the sciences, which we need more Black people in. Absolutely. Much less Black women. Yeah. And when I tell you my niece dropped this 3-minute spiel that had me, because she was on speaker, me, my mother, my sister's mother-in-law, my daughter, and my niece, like on mic drop. My niece was like, yo. Wow. And then she said, do you have any questions? And my niece was just wide-eyed. She didn't even know what to ask. And she said, listen, just get my number from Auntie. She's like, text me if you have any questions. And she's like, or we can call, we can talk together later about anything. And if you do decide to go, she was like, I'll link you into the network. And the most important thing that stuck out to me that she said was something that I was trying to explain to my niece. People are thinking because Black institutions don't get a lot of federal government funding that they have no funding. But you got to remember, in these billion-dollar industries where we are the millionaire and billionaires, we ourselves are pumping funding into these institutions. Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z, even Kanye, like everybody pumps entities money
now, like the NBA,
into these
McDonald's,
the NBA, McDonald's, HBCUs the NAACP now. Is even being funded more now. So like I was trying to explain to my niece that don't cut it off thinking they're limited resources, because that's the problem with Black and brown people. We always look into outside of us for resources. And something that my niece said that stuck out was, not only do you get unlimited resources, she said, when you go to these HBCUs, you're really forced to look at yourself and figure out, what am I really good at? She said, because being a Black or brown person, you're already always at the top. But now you're put in a position where you're the best of the best among the best, and they all look like you. So now it's like what are you prepared to do? How are you going to stand out when now you look like everybody else? Yeah. Before you were standing out because you didn't look like everybody else. How are you going to stand out now that you look like everybody else? Every Black girl in here is excellent. Yeah. Every Black girl in here wants to be a scientist or whatever. Every Black girl got a dream. And my niece was like, yo, she was like, the education, the way she spoke. Like, I called my sister, and this is not my blood sister, but this is my sister, El Boogie. She's from the Bronx. I called her and was like, yo, she was on the phone. So I texted her. I was like, yo, I don't really want nothing. I just wanted to let you know that money well spent, because my niece just dropped a spiel on the family about her experience, and she sold me. I want to go back to school, and I want to go to a HBCU. Right? God damn, if that's what it's about, like, I need a do-over for sure.
I always wanted to go. Like, I feel like I missed my opportunity. Like, and that would be dope. Like, think about that. Like, if we just encouraged a bunch of grown ass women who had never had the opportunity to go to college and really like go to an HBCU and get that experience, I think that would be fucking dope.
Yeah, if we had a decent HBCU, if I lived in Atlanta, I would definitely take classes on campus.
I would do that.
I definitely would.
And I don't now. Well, here's my dilemma. and I've always wanted to be in a sorority, but am
I'm
I
still going to be in a
mentally
sorority. I am going to
equipped
pledge grad
really
chapter of Deltas.
pledge?
I reached out to him. I feel like at this age, I'm definitely mentally prepared because you're not
See,
about to
you
be
can
making me
pledge
go buy
grad.
bowls of
I'm
M&Ms and
starting from the
fucking
bottom.
sort different colors and shit that I heard my roommate
Wait.
had to do. when
You
she
can
put-
pledge. You can still pledge.
Grad chapter. Once
But
you
the grad
so,
chapter
so do you have to
different.
go through the same process?
Hell
Not,
no.
not always.
Oh,
a lot of times it's just
knock my
about
phone
spending that
over, I'm
bread
sorry.
and knowing what you're supposed to know.
Yeah, see, I feel like I don't know. At my age,
Do I want to be hazed at 49?
I can't get
Absolutely
hazed.
not.
I can't get
I'll
hazed.
fight a bitch.
But I would get hazed at this stage, and again, I don't have a degree.
I ain't got it in me.
But
ain't got it in
I
me.
want to be in a sorority.
Is
so
it worth it?
bad.
It's worth it because, like I was
Hell
explaining
yeah,
to my
the
niece,
resources, the connections.
There are people I know that
Whew.
literally got jobs just because they interviewed with somebody that was
Yeah.
their frat brother.
Mm-hmm.
I almost became an Eastern
There are
Star
people I
because of
know
those
who got
connections.
promotions simply because their frat brother or sister, their soror, was the person in charge.
Yeah,
The resources endless.
you could be a Mason. You
Th-
could
like,
just, yeah.
Just again, it's not about who you know; it's about who knows you.
That's a good one. I like that.
Like
that. Yeah,
Fuck who
life
you-
is
it's
nothing about
who
those
knows you.
connections. Like I've been put into some places and spaces based on who I know and who knows me. Like yes, those connections and resources are endless and they're very important through your growth and development financially, mentally, just culturally, because
Yeah.
these are again other examples of Black excellence.
So if you had your
Literally
choice,
surrounded by Black excellence.
if you had your choice on HBCU for your niece to go to, which one would you pick?
She applied to Carolina.
No, which one would you
Which
pick
one would
for
I-
her?
So,
which
I
one
honestly-
would you pick?
I don't know enough about what she wants to study. I know that she only applied to schools that had programs geared to what she wants to study.
What
So
you wanna
I
study?
can't just be like,
What she
oh,
trying
I
to
would
study?
pick such and such because such and such. She wants to study biochemical, engineering.
Mhm.
She wants to look for advances in sickle cell because my other nephew, the one who's the filmmaker, he has sickle cell, and she watches him struggle. And at 25, his life expectancy, I think, is like 27. She wants to, find advances in sickle cell
Dope.
to
No,
help
I thought you
other-
had one in mind that you really liked though, like one like
No,
HBCU.
I don't-
just like
again,
them all.
I don't like them all.
Oh.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
I would not recommend Cheney.
I was about to say
I
not
definitely would not
Cheney.
recommend Cheney. I don't know enough about Lincoln. I have a lot of friends that
I
graduated.
don't
from
hear
there.
nothing about. I don't,
I
hear
don't know.
nothing good about.
I had a
Lincoln.
very bad. I was sexually assaulted at Cheney. I would not recommend that for any fucking body. That's bad. Like I would not be able to go visit her, drop her off, none of that. Like we
Yeah.
good. We good on Cheney. Yeah, like
That's
nah. I
crazy,
definitely would
that's
not
the-
recommend that for
That's
her.
wild because that's like the crazy. That's
Maybe
that's the
Fisk
joints-
in Tennessee.
That's the ones closest to us. Though nobody fuck with them.
Yeah, I mean
What
they're
that say
not.
about
My
Pennsylvania?
thing is, I'm not into going to education
What
for
that-
the fun of it, for the name of it. Like I'm going because you about to spend some serious bread on some serious shit. So find out what they have to offer you and what you're gonna get the most benefit. I'm a person that been to college. What I know is she need to go where she's gonna get the most out of it.
Yeah.
I was forced to go to IUP because that was the school that offered me the most money. So what my niece did was she was a genius. She got whatever school she get into are going to offer her money because she's so smart. And she only applied to where she really wants to go. So she's not forced to go anywhere based on funding.
Yeah.
And
She's
I
gonna
want
probably
more
get
people
a
to make
lot
those.
of money
That's
from
what we
Clark.
call a
right?
genius.
Clark.
So basically, she also got scholarship money to go to Drexel. Drexel is a great engineering school.
Ooh.
My sister doesn't
One of
really
the top
care for her to stay
engineering
home.
schools in the
Exactly.
In the
country.
climate of Philadelphia right now, it's
Yeah.
definitely one of the top. But if it's going to cost her the same to stay on campus and go to Drexel as it's going to for her to go to Clark, why not go to Clark?
Go to Clark
and
and
be
get a different
surrounded
experience.
again by Black excellence
Yeah.
in the mecca of Black excellence.
Yeah.
See something different. Also, there's a difference between Northern Blacks and Southern Blacks. There always has been.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a
sure.
difference between Northern education and Southern education. There always has been.
Yeah.
So I feel like
And then you get that growth that you develop different when you're
you definitely
away
develop
from your
different when you're away
parents
from your parents, when you're
versus
away from
having that
the peers that you
convenience
know,
of
when you're
being home.
forced to make new peers. And
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
people who look like you, who aspire to do the same things as you. Stay home and be around the people you know who you already know what they into. You grew up with
Yeah.
them. Y'all into some of the same
It's the
shit.
same thing.
Some people you already grew apart from. And yeah, you're going to meet other people from other places in your hometown. But now you become the Philly expert. Everybody want to know through you what's going on in your city. You become, when you are the black person in a school like Drexel, and you're meeting friends from different backgrounds from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, you become the token example of what it means to be black in Philly. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I used to think that was better. I'm not going to hold you. Like at first, like in raising my 2 older kids, like I thought that would have been best for them, because I'm like, the world is not just black. You know, you want to be able to adjust and adapt to people from different cultures, especially if you don't grow up around other people in different cultures.
That is definitely correct.
And being a kid who grew up in Philly only around black people, but then I moved to Connecticut and it's like, oh wow, I'm going to school with Indian kids and Asian kids and white kids, and I'm in a predominantly mixed really neighborhood. It was, I took on a different perspective, but then it's like with my younger kids, I feel different and I look at it different. And even with myself, like I always wanted to go to an HBCU because I felt like I grew up in Connecticut. So I already was around other cultures. I wanted to be more around my own people. But my kids, I felt like once I moved back to Philly and they were only around black people again, I'm like, y'all might need that diversity that I got living in Connecticut that y'all not getting here.
See, I always had a different perspective.
But that HBCU changed my son's life.
I always had a different perspective because I was a black person that was immersed interculturally, interracially from the gate. My kindergarten was a Catholic school that was in North Philly at 17th and Poplar, Bambino Jesu. It was tied into Jesu. We used to go to mass over there.
Jesus.
And the kids there were predominantly black and Hispanic, but we had one white girl in the class, Christina. I will never forget Christina. I can't think of her last name, but I had a white girl in her class. I left there and I went to Friends Select, which is at 17th and the Parkway. I met my girlfriend, Dana, Team Gemini. Dana and I were the only 2 black girls in teacher Jean Carroll's first grade class. We were the only 2 black girls in class till I think I want to say 4th grade when Roxanne came, and my cousin Kelsey, who was in a grade under me, so she wasn't in my class. And there were black girls in other grades, but there was like 1, maybe 3 in every class. But the special thing about Friends Select is they had people, shout out to my friend Andre Mapp, they had black people that were in the 13-year club, which meant they went there from kindergarten and they graduated. Friends Select is an independent Quaker school in the middle of Center City. Tuition, currently, I don't even want to talk about it, but I know when my son was going to, was it kindergarten? I think that shit was like $25,000. And they wanted him to repeat. No, he's going to first grade. They wanted him to repeat kindergarten. I told my teacher, Stewart, I can't do that.
All this money I'm paying y'all should have made sure he passed. You ever get the fuck out of here?
He passed. It was his birthday because they were harping on the intellectual development of being around peers your same age. Because his birthday is in October, but I started him in school early, so he was technically a year ahead. All that fighting for him to end up repeating the motherfucking grade anyway when he went to a different independent school because they said the same thing. And I realized I couldn't get around it because of the law in Pennsylvania. But that's neither here nor there.
That shit sucked.
So my experience was different because my father then forced me to go to public school for high school because he said that I was very integrated. And I make the joke all the time. I talk like this for a significant portion of my life. And it bothered my family. And I do it, I can code switch. Like, I really was a Valley girl at one point. Like, oh my God, I was such a Valley girl. Like, that was, you know, like.
That's annoying. You know
I
that?
let be by the time I got to,
that?
I was in 8th grade and I still talk like that when I
Yeah, kind of, sort of. So that's like, you
but
should never revisit that.
we became real cool when I was in high school and I started hanging around black people. And my best friend, Sydney Ellison, we started hanging around each other because, shout out to our friend Sharon, who had passed away. We're in the same advisory. And Sharon told Sydney, you got to meet this black girl in my advisory. She cool as shit. And everybody's like, well, what black girl? Because how come we don't know the other black girl? And she said, because she always hang around white people. It's the black girl that back in the late 80s, early 90s, when I went to high school, MTV had a show called Daria.
Oh, yes.
La, 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 la. That was my shit. Needless to say, I wore glasses. I wore a lot of black. Hung around a lot of white people. Shout out Joe Stoneback. He had a mullet. That was my nigga. That's still my nigga to this day. He coached my son in basketball. So I hung around Joe and Krista and another Joe. Yeah, I hung around these people and we would talk about Metallica being our favorite bands, mine being Guns N' Roses.
I mean,
we would talk about my love for Run DMC, Public
I got a
Enemy.
white side. I can dig it.
I don't have a white side.
You do.
I'm fully integrated.
Embrace
Nah,
it.
because what I also learned going to school with a mixed group, because a lot of people say in Philly, you're going to be around all black people. Well, that's your family fault, because I ain't been to a school in Philadelphia that is not integrated at this point.
Yeah.
It's white folks in every neighborhood, because gentrification is real. And them motherfuckers is saving on tax abatements and either sending their kids to
Not
the
when I
charter
was
school.
growing up.
Not when you were growing up. I'm talking about currently now.
Oh yeah.
So my outlook on going to an HBCU was, and also because I went to private school that pushed cultural differences and learning acceptance, is Quaker. Let's get along. Everybody get along. We trying to repent for the fucking slaves we had. So their thing was learn about other cultures, be open, be expressive, learn about that. There's other things out there outside of you. So my thing was, wow, they already told me that black people are excellent. I want to go be around black excellence, because in Philly, I ain't around nothing but niggas.
Right.
It's a lot of niggas.
And it is important to change your perspective about what you think black people, or who you think we are, and what you think we're into, and how you think we live. So when you go to a place like Atlanta and you experience these other people, I'm saying Atlanta because that's where Clark is.
That's the mecca of black excellence in the country at this time right now. It always has been. Like birthplace of Dr. King.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? A lot of civil rights shit kicked off
Martin
down
Luther.
there. Yeah, but see, you don't know, but you.
I ain't saying like I don't know.
I know.
Fuck, bro. That's been going everywhere, bro.
Yeah, it's been going everywhere, but it's different.
I've been everywhere.
Oh, I know. I will say, it's different in the South. They uphold our cultural values more. Up in
like
the
we
North,
don't even have debutante balls and shit like that. Like I just always thought that was so.
Yes,
it
is.
is.
Yes,
it is. You need to know your history.
Black excellence is black
Yes,
excellence,
that ain't
because
no white shit.
no, it's not
not.
white shit. Being kings and queens and having manners
had those.
and celebrating that and celebrate. Let me. First of all, yes, it is.
The debutante
Yes,
balls?
that is very much the concept. That is very much the
I
concept.
always wanted to dress up in a white dress.
I
and
never
do
wanted
the
to do that shit.
waltz and because I always wanted to associate myself as a black person with excellence and with the higher class and with the things that I feel like, yes, we're into these things. Like all these things that you think is white culture is not just white culture. Like we are kings and queens, and we did dress in these gowns and we did do these things. Like we wasn't always poor. Like I hate the fact that that's painted as the picture. But I'm telling you, but you can't hate on me for always wanting to have those experiences that I see black people having.
Yeah, but those aspirations of the black people had those were two of aspiration and colonization of a different culture. That wasn't us, bro.
How you figure?
Because our dance and our forms wasn't that, because that's not where we came from, bro.
We still evolved from that. What are you talking about?
What though? We evolved.
We still evolved. We had people who were violinists that were playing. Like we came from.
It's the debutante ball.
Even to where the dynamic of, even to where the direction of where there was going was part of the colonization of a different culture than ours. We didn't even dress that way. Even when we dressed up or aspired to dress better or move up, we didn't even dress the way they dress at those type of events.
That is correct. We did not, because we didn't try to mirror theirs. We tried to show what our excellence was. Yeah, well, black people never really did anything culturally in
we had debutante balls in form of things that were culturally our culture that wasn't considered a debutante ball. Aspiring to be a debutante is not even in our culture. It's not even our culturalistic of a word.
It's not. However, you can say it's a practice that stems from in certain cultures in Africa where ladies became of age, where their fathers and their families would present them to the single men in the villages. It definitely was called something else. But again, Chef, okay, now you're about to argue semantics when we all know that our culture, the titles and all that was stripped from us. So we have to use the only word that we know what it is. Because once they started doing them in 1778 in this here United States, the main objective was to uplift the race by dismantling the negative stereotypes assigned to young black women during this time regarding what they were meant to look, act, speak, and think like. So it doesn't matter that it comes from a different practice. at that time, that is the name that is given to it. We can't call it nothing else because that's what they call it. I don't have to read it again.
What is a debutante
because you're
ball?
arguing a point that we already made.
Right.
There's no point in really arguing it. We're not saying we're saying the same thing, and you're arguing the point about that's not us. That's not us. It's not us to have a debutante ball because we did not have the word for it, but it's definitely very much us to take our young women when they became a certain age
And celebrate
to
them.
dress them
That's
up
what
in
you're
their
saying.
best, present them to the community, and celebrate them. This is what a Black and African, because they were definitely in
So
their
it's
homeland.
an African culture to
is
do
what
this.
Yes,
Yes.
in lots of
Yes.
African cultures
Yes.
to do this.
Yes.
Yes.
Because they have it in
Yes.
other.
And there's a
but
name
I
for
get,
it, but
I get what
nigga,
you
we
saying.
don't know
I
it,
get,
so we
I get
using
what
the
you
name
saying
that
though.
we know.
No, she's saying the same thing though. Listen, she said she.
What
know
I want to
it-
talk about is
there's
why the
nothing
niggas
other
keep
name.
running down Temple University.
What they running down Temple University
Why
for?
y'all nigglets keep running down Temple University destroying property? Y'all niggas need a debutante ball.
That's what I'm
Y'all
saying.
nigglets need ass
It teaches you
whoopings
etiquette.
and summers down
Children are
south.
back to this dumb shit again.
That's what y'all need. Cause I got my ass whooped and I spent every summer down south from birth to age 13, and I ain't never been destroyed property young. I've been young.
What y'all get out of
We
that
toilet
shit
paper
They
though?
some houses.
bored. They don't
Like,
got
what
no
y'all get out of
real
that, though?
estate. They ain't got
Trees.
nothing to do.
We used to play Ding Dong Dixie. We even used to steal the UNICEF money that we used to do around Halloween and go buy hoagies and pizza and shit. But never did we converge upon Temple University's campus and jump on the hoods and windshields of
We
cars.
ain't destroy
and
property.
kick them
Like,
the
ain't nobody
fuck
destroy.
in, and then throw
Man, that
rocks
shit
at
goofy.
the cops that were there to quell us. Them niggas should have started shooting.
You
That's
young
all
bucks
I
is
gotta
goofy.
say.
But
Cops
then
should have
that-
put them little nigglets down. I'm
And that
sick
and that
of
would have
this
been and that
shit.
would have been horrible. But
It
that's
would've
what
been
I'm
They
saying.
should let
horrible,
cops
but
get-
I'm sick of this shit. And
Start
yes,
shooting
I'm
them
But
with
I am
paintball
sick
guns.
of our
Three
children
niggas wasn't
acting
out
like
there. They
that.
was in the house, so
I'm
mine
sick of
wouldn't
our
have got
kids
hit.
acting like this, and at the end of the day, but this goes back to something I've been saying for
Oh,
a minute.
peace, God.
Crack babies,
My big
Crack
brother,
crack
babies.
babies,
See,
having
somebody
babies,
stole my jean jacket
and this
had
is
my
the end
pin with
result
my
of the
name on it.
'80s.
I
What
need
did
a
y'all
new
think was
pin.
going to happen?
Crack
All
babies,
these crack
I-
babies
you know
that
what? Nope.
survive,
Nope.
that
I'm
had
not blaming.
babies,
I'm
that
no
turn
longer.
around having
Nope.
these. You got to be chemically imbalanced.
I'm
to
no
jump
longer
on top of
blaming
cars
crack babies.
Crack
and throw
babies.
rocks.
I'm no
like,
longer
are we driving
blaming
through an
perk
exhibit at the
babies.
Philadelphia Zoo in the monkey section? Like, what's going on
You
here?
definitely have to be chemically imbalanced, but you also have to have a very absent parent and no fucking
what I was gonna
village.
get
The
into.
parent
Like
is the
parent.
crack baby
Hey,
that I'm
we got
talking
my
about.
guest,
Hey,
Vern
our guest is
Volumes. My
The
man
parent
Vern,
is
Because
what's
the
I
crack
happening?
promise
baby that I'm
you,
talking
my
about.
mom would have
Sign
You gonna
whooped
come
up
sit
my
over here, Vern? You gonna come
motherfucking
sit over
ass.
here?
Okay. Thank you, God, because somebody stole my jacket. It's been like going on a year now, and I'm really sad about it. I've been meaning to tell you. I'm no longer a break. We be making excuses. I'm not doing that no more.
No, the crack baby is the one I'm talking
Fuck
about.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Blame the crack baby. They was born on crack.
I'm
No.
not
They had chemically imbalanced
kids.
But
I
the
get-
parent,
but the
listen,
whole
I did,
fact
the
Your
parents is,
chemically imbalanced ass need to be in the house with your kids.
yeah.
You a crack baby.
I know crack babies and their parents was in the house with they whipping their ass.
True.
Whooping their ass, and their
True.
kids don't act like this right now.
Like, put the headphones on if you want. Yeah.
Once we start charging the parents with the bullshit that these nigglets is
They have to be accountable. Somebody got to be accountable.
accountability goes
Somebody
a
has to be
long
accountable.
way.
But
But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about crack babies. We ain't gonna talk about none of that. We're gonna talk about the art of Vern Volume right now.
Yes, yes.
what's happening,
Welcome
Vern?
our
What's
guest.
going on, everybody?
We chilling,
Vern
man. We
Volumes.
chilling. We chilling. How you doing today, bro?
Chilling.
That's
Scrap
what's-
paper designs.
Yeah.
Senior citizens.
Yeah, tell them about
We
yourself,
here.
what you got going on, bro.
On
You know what I'm
well,
saying?
Before you get into that, I went to your page because he was like, "I'm seeing my man." I clicked on your page. I said, "Now, why some of my closest friends are our mutual friends?"
yeah.
I was like, and it's not just
Affiliated.
people we know. It's like my closest friends. I was like,
This is part of the reason why I wanted to bring you up here,
Okay.
because I know the
We
circles
peoples.
that like,
So
That's
we
right.
already
yeah,
family,
like
like,
That's
really.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So
So
yeah,
now you can let us know.
yeah, let them know
what
what
you
you
got
got
going
going
on.
on, bro. Because I brought you up here. Let the people know what you got going on, bro.
First of all, my name is Vern Volumes, 2 V's, representing senior citizens. That's my rap group. I'm an artist, hand paint artist, MC, You know, I do a lot of things. You know what I mean?
How long you been doing that painting?
Well, painting probably like 12 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing it for like 12 years. It was a means of therapy for me. You know, my son passed in 2012, and as a way of coping, I couldn't tell you where I brought the paint from. I just had some paint, made my first shirt, messed it up, made another one. Then I figured out, you know, a lot of
Trial and error.
I said, let me put a board in between the shirt so it won't splash all the way in the back. So, you know, I started off doing it for myself.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I got on social media. That was my only reason for getting on social media, to promote my brand. So once I got on social media, people, let me get this, let me get that. I wasn't even drawing, I was just writing letters. And, you know, everybody wanted it, and I started putting the art to it, making my little graffiti, man, and, you know, been doing it ever since.
Dope shit.
Doing it, you know, for some big people. Diamond D, Doodle Bug from Diggable Planets, Neek the Exotic from Main Source, you know, Rampage. I did a whole sweatshirt for him. You know, a couple of folks, you know, my man All Purpose, you know, from Prophets of the Ghetto, Baby Black,
Yes, that's
Phantasm from Cellar Dwellers. You know, I've done a lot, you know what I mean? You know, pat myself on the back. I'm at least like 1,000 pieces in.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
At least 1,000, and that's baby steps, you know.
What's inspiring a fellow artist over here? I'm like grinning from ear to ear. I don't want to look like a weirdo, but I'm like, like I'm in my element right now. I'm honored to be in your presence because I'm trying to get where you are as far as being an artist and painting on clothing and doing certain shit. So it's an honor. I didn't even know you were coming. So this is definitely, I was supposed to be here today.
The way I look at it is like this paint, you know, just like driving. Like the only way you're going to get better driving is drive. You know, like it's to the point now when I mess up, I still don't mess up because I know how to make something else. And it's all about what you understand first. Some people, like my art, you might look at it like this, and you know, I'm not the artist that can draw your grandma. I don't want to draw nobody's grandma. I might, you know, mess her teeth up and might have her hair a little wild, you know what I mean? So I can give you the mean face with the gold teeth and the hat crooked, but it's mine. It's my style, you know what I mean? So just rep you. Like, I get inspired, but I always think about what I want to do. And sometimes, you know, when you start off, people ain't support, but I never did it for that. And don't go on social media bashing people. Like a lot of people, as soon as you buy 10 shirts, if they don't go in the hour, man, F my grandmom and my sister.
Hey, man,
I ain't buying no more dinners from you, sis. You know what I mean? I ain't buying the kids candy. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people just got to catch up. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Because really, art is what you say is worth. Like nothing, no painting is worth $1 million.
Exactly.
It's just that somebody got $1 million and that's what I asked for. Yeah. You know, and I'm learning now to charge my prices. I used to try to make sure you cool.
Nah.
I'm not doing that no more.
You gotta make
I'm
sure
not
you
doing
cool.
that. I'm gonna give you the price.
Supplies cost money.
And my time.
Right. And my time.
And time is
My
always
idea,
money.
my
One-on-one. One-on-one. When you know you one-on-one, don't dumb down. Don't dumb down because I see people, you know, they brag because they got on Gucci and all this, and you like, damn, I only asked you for $30.
Oh my
I'm
God.
already giving you the homie discount.
He is preaching to the choir over here.
I'm already giving you the homie discount, and you still ask.
Still asking.
Yeah.
Well, I see you got a couple pieces over there, bro. What you got over there?
He made it!
Hey!
I don't want to take us for a man's show now.
What's up, Bobby? That's all
No, I'm saying the show over in 3 minutes. That ain't what I mean. I mean, I ain't got that much time. Hold up. Let me be quiet.
Oh, me.
That's Irize.
Yes.
It's you.
I
You get the
represent you
long
for
sleeve
sure.
scrap paper.
Yes.
You know, be just like a
And that's your brand, right? Scrap
While
paper?
you doing that though, tell them about the event you got coming up,
Yes,
bro. Because
yes,
I want people to
yeah,
attend.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
we definitely
You
that's
gonna
on
have to come back
listen
and spend
up.
more time with us because I want to hear
Definitely,
about
bro.
senior citizens.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah,
Like,
I
I mean-
listen.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I heard you on the way over. What's
What's
up,
up,
Mike?
brother?
That's
How you
my-
doing,
yeah.
brother?
How you
Yeah,
doing,
man. I
Mike?
was listening
Yeah.
on the way over, man. I was
Right,
like, yo, I don't know what
right.
a senior citizen is, but it sounds like an ill ass rapper. And I'm
yeah.
here for it.
I know you is.
Hey, listen.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Hey, one of the illest, man. I'm telling you, whatever, man.
Yep,
Like
senior
real talk,
citizen.
Mike. Listen,
Yeah,
this
senior
is the
citizen.
reason why I wanted
Say
you
the
to come up
silver
here, bro.
sneakers is
I knew the
citizen.
atmosphere and the energy would match the same energy that I get from you. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's right.
and you see it. I mean, but you know,
Well,
then you
this
not
is
only
what it needs to be
paint.
anyway, because it's a
Yeah, he not
network
only
here.
paint though. He don't only paint.
Right,
He
that's what I'm
raps, and I
saying,
wanted,
like-
I wanted to get into that. But the show,
That's
how
how
long
you gotta
been
come back
rapping, though?
Wednesday
How long you
morning
been
from
rapping,
9
though?
to 10. Come back.
I'm here. I'm here for whatever. Somebody can beatbox whatever.
He said somebody gonna be like so whatever.
It's on wild crazy in my ear.
Dying. He said somebody can beatbox over
Hey,
So,
Vern, you definitely dope, Vern. Real
Yeah, I
shit,
appreciate
man, you know
it,
what I mean?
man.
So
Yeah,
I've
I
been told you
appreciate
that,
it.
Get you
bro.
back in
Like,
here with
Yeah, I appreciate
ample
it.
time.
Yeah,
I know
man.
you
Right.
had to
you
go
got
pick
it.
up your
We
wife
stuck in
and everything,
traffic
and
and
then
all
got
that. He was stuck in
Right.
traffic for a minute. You
So
know
I
what
That
I'm
made
was
saying?
a
sure I
very
came
awkward
down.
time. I don't know what Dame and Mike were thinking.
Yo, we was free back then. You know what I'm saying? Back then when we started the show, 5 o'clock was like, I was off the clock for 2 hours already.
Shout out to
We
Damian.
was free back then. We ain't free no more, man. 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
Give us a free back.
Right, 5 o'clock. They like, yo, where you going?
Hey, man,
Where
listen,
you
this
at?
over a drink. This is over a drink, man. Give my man a drink right here, bro. We got some, this something that Irize came, she done looked
You
up
gotta
on the
get
internet
yours,
and
Mike.
found out with the mix with this rum here.
What is this?
It's Kraken.
Kraken.
Dark
Like,
rum.
I don't want
Yeah.
nothing that starts to
What's
sound
up, Mike?
crack.
That's what they were talking about earlier.
If it start with
That's
crack,
what they said. They didn't want nothing that start with crack.
Yeah,
That's the bartender.
Yeah, we ready.
That's what they were talking about earlier.
It's not going to be exactly the same. Because we run it on ice, but it's going to
you know
be
what I
delicious.
mean?
Warren, what you got over there? The paintings, though, man. You know I'm a fan of your art, bro. You know I've been a fan of your art like crazy. Hey, listen, we almost I'm
I don't know.
definitely
I'm
a
a show
fan.
where I'm a show it at. Like,
Hey,
but it
look,
can't
just
be-
hold it up.
You on?
You live on YouTube?
bro. We on
And
YouTube.
Twitch.
On Twitch.
Yeah.
Everybody grab one to show.
Yeah, grab one. That'll be
Yeah.
cool. It's a little
go.
hand painted joint.
Y'all blocking each
Hey,
other out
bro.
the joint.
Listen,
There
it
you
don't
go.
matter.
Crazy.
This
Hold
joint
that
crazy.
joint up,
Listen,
Chef.
though.
That joint
Yeah,
crazy,
man.
This joint I got right here.
Burn. That joint
These
bananas,
are-
bro.
Yeah, that's
That joint is bananas.
that's the funky diabetic. That's
Diabetic.
yeah. I'm a diabetic, so you know that
That's
was
crazy. I
Fight
love the
Club.
story behind it.
Funky diabetic. You know?
I love the story behind it.
Yeah. If I ruled the world, yeah.
Yeah.
This is for you.
Like
A
I
little
said,
Kraken
my
and
man-
ginger ale.
This is awesome.
my man
This is
definitely
a great way to end the show right here.
He having the event too. On
What's the
the
event?
Yes, on the 20
on the
let- let us
21st.
in the event.
You
Yeah,
let him know, Vern. Let him know, Vern.
My
Let the people
show
know.
is on April the 21st at Dialect Paradise, 4705 Baltimore Avenue,
On that.
from 8
Okay.
to 12. It's a free event.
8 to 12.
8 to 12.
April
Yeah, it's
21st.
gonna be performance April 21st.
That's a
That's
Sunday,
Sunday.
April
It's
21st.
Sunday. It's Sunday.
Yes, yes.
Free event,
I'll be
Dialects
cool.
Paradise, right there in Baltimore.
be
Hey,
Avenue.
you know where we gonna be coming from?
Yeah.
Hey, that weekend, you know where we coming
I'm
from.
trying to get off.
We gonna
work
have a
still.
lot to
That's
talk
the
about
same
that
night of
Monday.
Vinny the
We gonna have a lot to talk about
A
that
lot
Monday.
going
That's
on,
what's up.
so
Stay tuned
everybody
for the
should
Senior
go
citizens
to
will be in the house.
Hey, that's you performing too, right, Vern?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
what's up.
definitely.
Listen, let me give you a little story behind Senior Citizens.
Yes, please, real fast.
Are we about to be off the air?
No, hey, give us a
Oh,
story,
all right.
Vern. Give us a
The
story.
story went like this. Me and my buddy, I was over one of my buddy's crib. We freestyling, rapping, whatever. And his buddy was older than me. I'm 52 at the time. I say his boy probably was like 3 years older than me, whatever. So we all spitting all that they good. You know what I mean? So the next day he said, we don't have no name. And as a joke, because he's younger than me, but he act like an old man. I was gonna say senior spitters. I was like, oh, that's too live. I'm keeping that. So it just represents. It's not an age thing. It's more so being a veteran. Because I wasn't rapping when I was 8. You know, some people got. You know, I've been rapping since I wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So the name sticks everywhere I said it. We get a lot of praise from it. It's real catchy. And it represents something I think Kane and Coogee Rap would have had. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So it represents, I'm not young. You know, everybody jump on the youngness. We senior citizens. And it doesn't even just rap. Rap, it's just your everyday walk. Just being here.
Yeah.
It's being here.
And you spit some dope shit, bro.
Old ass rap fans, including myself.
Yeah, that's
and
what's up.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm here for it, right? It's a lot of young cats. I mean, you know, I don't knock their hustle. They just don't speak to me.
Nah,
you know what I'm
you
saying?
got some dope shit, man. Check his page out.
I need cats that speak
he got
to
some
me.
dope shit,
Drop your
man.
social media before we go.
My social media is Vern Volumes, Facebook, and Instagram. And you can go to Scrap Paper Designs on Instagram. Check out all my art. I got freestyle rhymes. I got shows, everything. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right. Thank you for stopping by. We definitely gonna have you back.
Appreciate
Hey,
y'all.
Vern, you
Made
definitely
it.
coming back.
I'm here for 3 minutes.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Man.
3 minutes.
Stay tuned to Glock Awareness. This is not just a podcast. This is a radio station. We'll see y'all next week.
Next week.
To play some music.
Take us out of here, too.